Regency Mining from South Andrew Belt kindly let me in the office after the cheers Andrew, so I was in pleasure.
Hi, nice to see you.
You're a gentleman, always nice to pop in. Horsehill, where did that come from?
Well,
Good grief.
you know, I like Horsehill. I always quite liked Horsehill. The problem was that it got a bit ahead of itself last year, and we were worried about it, apart from anything else, about reputational damage and about being drawn into saying things or having things said perhaps in our name that we didn't have control of. And I think that, you know, as I said before, you can extrapolate from the known to the probable and possible. But people were extrapolating from the known to the highly speculative and getting some of the things I thought wrong last year. Even some of the mathematics didn't work internally. So
I remember that, yeah.
we were up. But then the flow testing this year, as soon as I saw the first results, I knew it was completely changed everything. Because we knew at the beginning of last year that we had high total organic carbon, but what we didn't expect is that it would flow any better than, maybe worse than some other shales in the US. What the first flow results showed is that this lower shale in the Kimmeridgian was actually flowing under natural pressure to surface, and what's more, flowing extremely well. And so somebody had come to us with a stake that they were interested in selling because they have an next door license, so they have the same geology anyway, and they wanted to buy another asset. So we said yes.
I must admit I got it wrong, mate, because I thought they would have to frack it. I think a few people thought that actually.
Yes,
but it's
and I think people who thought they might not need to frack thought, well, maybe they'll just use chemical stimulation and get it out of the limestone, maybe putting down dilute HCl and opening up pathways. But people thought it needed to be stimulated to come out. And here it is. It's only too ready to come out. So you can talk about sort of the gusher. Yes, really.
Yeah, no, it's I watched your RNS 2 days ago, and I was absolutely shocked. It came out, and I was looking. I was thinking, why aren't people picking up on this? Because your market cap was about 500k or thereabouts.
Yeah.
But as the day went on,
less.
Well, that was less. I apologise. But as the day went on, it started gathering legs, and then yesterday again, it went again.
Yeah, so we were sort of less than 500 and we were issuing a couple of 100,000 worth of stock, and it's come up a little, you know.
Just a tad.
Yeah, just a tad, but it's still to me, when I look at the market capitalizations of those companies who seem to be largely dependent on their Horsehill asset for their valuation.
Yeah, with the market caps, yeah.
Yeah, and I put a line through, say, those ones. I'm thinking in particular of sort of Alba, Stella and ourselves, and see what is that valuing the thing at. I think it's valuing it at 30 million, which means that since Horsehill development is 65% of the asset, they're valuing the whole Horsehill projects at £45 million. And to me, that's a ridiculous undervaluation for something that could be as good as Wych Farm.
I think the public, when they pick up with it, the retail investors, excuse me, what I'm trying to say is when the next news arrives, and then as time goes on and they realise what I think is in there, in the well, and when it's allowed to flow properly, I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. That's what I think.
Yes, and what's interesting is when we came in 2 years ago, we came in as part of the group with rights to buy into Angus, and so we were in some ways beholden to those people who'd let us participate, and you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
When we sold with a note of dissent, and now we've come back in, we got our stock from the Angus side, and so, you know, we're probably the loyal opposition rather than the government side.
Yeah,
so nobody will mistake what we say for his master's voice. everyone will know we have an independent voice.
Exactly.
So when I say that we believe something, I'm not implicating anyone else. And if other people say they believe something, they're not implicating us in that view. But I think this is the real deal.
I do as well, looking at past RNSs and conversations with people.
Yeah.
It could be another witch farm, and that's... I know
I think it could
people
be.
might laugh at that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
the way it's performed at the moment...
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts just based on that first of the 3 horizons they're testing. And the second one, the results about to come out, are very important too, because that supposedly was going to be the better horizon.
Yeah.
But just based on the first one, I can envisage multiple wells being drilled off one production platform, and each of them producing nearly 2,000 barrels a day under natural flow. Well, that is going to be something that changes the whole vision we have of the south of England and the Kimmeridgian shales.
Exactly, and the politics involved as well from the British government, because if it does flow the way they want it, then the British government will push forward to get it in production. It's in the country's benefits really, to bring that well on.
Yes, I think there's going to be huge pressure on the government. By the way, sorry for the background noise. What that is we just sublet part of our office, and they moved in this morning. Yes.
They look nice people anyway. But yeah, it's definitely it's a story of, I've got it wrong all the way down the line. I thought they missed the sweet spot. I thought they had to do another horizontal drill. So I got that in, like I said, stimulating the well. And also Angus, like you said, they've got the acreage next door. So they're going to use the same pad, and they're just going to go into
They can be in production twice as fast as Horsehill.
Yeah, so they can beat everybody to the punch, really,
yes,
the operators.
Yes. So they're not worried about selling under 5% to us because they no longer control the situation at Horsehill. They still have retained an appreciable interest, but they want to be involved in things that they control. But no, I mean, I think the really exciting thing about this is that most oil, as we know around the world, is found in salt domes, stratigraphic traps, structural traps, but that's just where it's come out of shales, where the sort of keratin has been generated and been cooked. It's a little bits of that oil have come out of the shales and been trapped as they try and reach the surface. And if you look at the shales themselves, where the great bulk of this material is trapped, in most places in the world, to liberate that oil, you have to frack or do something. If we have shales here in the south of England, and these are the same shales that have produced most of the oil in the North Sea, if it's thermally mature enough, if it's got the organic content, if it's flowing here in the south of England, we're going to have an oil province that is like the British equivalent of Texas. We're going to have potential production similar to the North Sea volumes. So just as the Scottish waters sort of ease off and are producing less, the south of England, the onshore, where things are going to be very profitable, is starting to get underway. That's extraordinary.
It is, and the cost as well.
Yeah.
It's just, the cost will just be so low because of where it is. But
and the British Geological Survey, they must be eating a lot of their own words at the moment. I mean, you can't blame them, they didn't know. And also the people who, for example, next door, I think it was BP several decades ago, drilled in Brockham, they logged all of these horizons, they didn't bother to test them. They must be kicking themselves now.
It's bizarre, isn't it, really? They do that and then they just leave it. It's an amazing story. But I just like to say, coming in the office to talk about, I know Andrew, he's a really good guy. But
yeah.
No, I didn't mean it that way. Don't feel like that, you know what I mean. I talk to you, don't I?
Yes.
But it's genuinely an exciting story.
It is, yeah.
Because getting away from all the noise last year, and the usual stuff.
In fact, after the last couple of days of seeing the share price go up and people reacting to this news, today when nothing much is happening, seems like a terrible anticlimax. I can't wait for the next set of results to come out.
That'll definitely kick at that. The results, obviously, I don't know obviously, but I'm hearing the close. If you look at the RNSs and you talk to people, But obviously I don't know I don't know what's going to happen. But
Oh, we don't know what they are.
But I mean, honestly, if they're going to be good,
Probably in
I
a
think
couple of hours,
You mean?
they'll know.
Yeah.
And so,
You've got lazy there.
yeah, in a couple of hours they should know. Because after all, you know, they've tested one night and
True, yeah.
very quick
They'll know.
moving on to the
Yeah.
next test. And then that would imply that there's some RNS on the way.
Must be, yeah, because they must be close. They must be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So
you'll have to work out what day this video was recorded.
Wednesday, yes.
To do it, yeah.
But that's not the only thing we're looking at. Obviously,
Alright.
we've been to the United States, to Nape. We saw a lot of potential opportunities there which we could get into. Even talking to our friends in the UK, there were opportunities. But when our market capitalisation was done, as you say, below $500,000,
Yeah.
that wasn't much of a gun platform. And you know, we've gone from a motor torpedo boat to sort of a small frigate size in the last 2 or 3 days. And we want that to increase because then we'll be able to accommodate, do much bigger deals of the kind that can really generate value.
The shareholders would be like, nice to hear that. I remember last time I was in London, I was going to catch up with you, but you were going to the States the next day, I remember now. So, that's fantastic. Thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you.
So let me sit next to you and then sort of get on the video.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.